In this video I am going to demonstrate the function of this Minolta Maxxum 7000 35mm film SLR camera that was introduced originally in 1985. It comes with the 50mm f1.7 autofocus lens and also the Maxxum 2800 AF flash. And so in order to get started here, I have a scrap roll of film, some batteries to put in the flash, and some batteries to put in the camera. Now none of this comes with this, it's just for my testing here and for demonstration purposes. But first let's open up the camera battery compartment, and we can see this battery holder, unlike many of these, has very clean battery contacts and it's very nice. Often batteries were left in these for years and they have leaked and made a horrible mess. This one is actually very nice. And so we can put the batteries in, make sure they're seated properly, and this is clicked over and it will mate up with the camera like that. And then we can just tighten this screw. It's got a little texture on it for tightening with your thumb, and you could put a coin in there and really crank it if you want to, but that's typically not necessary. Okay, and so there's power in the camera. Now we're also going to load these batteries into the flash, and we can see clean battery contacts there, clean battery contacts down inside. So let's drop these in according to the picture. Positive up and positive down. Okay, and slide those cat across. Now let's take the camera over here and we're going to turn it on, and we're going to open it up. We push this little button and slide that down and the door pops open, and then we can load this roll of film right in here and bring the leader across into this region over here. We can see there's a little orange block there. We're supposed to pull it out at least that far. This roll is pretty curly, so I'm going to make it go well into that area there, and then close this door like that. Okay, and we heard it wind a few times and fire the shutter, and now it's showing picture number 1. Now let's just start demonstrating some things here. I'm going to set this on autofocus and take the lens cap off, and now I've got to find something. I think maybe my ceiling light. I'm going to turn the beep on also because it gives a little indication of when it's ready. There, we heard that. So it focused. Now I'm going to make it way off focus and have it focus on that again. Okay, so we saw that working. Now I'm going to shut off the autofocus just because we don't want to wait for that. And I'm going to check the drive here. We can do, that was the single, now here's continuous. Okay, we can see that works. And then if we go press the drive here and step it over to ST for self-timer, then we can see now there's the light flashing and it's counting, and pretty soon we'll complete the cycle. Okay, and we saw that. Now this camera has several different modes. If we press the mode button, we can see it's currently at program, and there's A for aperture priority, M for manual, and S for shutter priority. So let's just try a few things here. With aperture priority, you see the arrow pointing at the aperture value, and I can step this. Let's just step that way down to f22, and we should be able to then look in the lens here and see that it does step it way down. After I take it out of self-timer mode, well, now it's so close, let's just watch it. Okay, we saw it stop way down. I am going to take it out of self-timer mode though, because that will take longer to deal with, and I just don't want to have to deal with that. Okay, single and mode. We did aperture. Manual, now here there's arrows pointing at both the shutter speed and the aperture, so we can now change the shutter speed with this button and the aperture then with these buttons over here. So up and down we can see 22, 19, 16, 13, 11, 8, and so on. Let's just set this at 1 full second, and then we'll just watch it do that. Okay, so that worked. And then of course there's the other mode, which is shutter priority, and now we can set that to whatever we want. So if I want to set that to 2 seconds, we can do that. Actually, was that a half a second? Yeah, that was a half a second. If I want to set it at 2 seconds, here it is. Okay. So all of these controls are working for what we've seen. And now what I'm going to do is turn on this flash, and we've put the batteries in there. Let's see. Whoa. Okay, we can see it's charged up and it's flashing. So now, let's put the flash onto the camera hot shoe. And there's a little wheel, you can even lock it down if you want to. And let's see if we can get this all in view here. And I saw the flash go off. And I saw the flash go off again. So it's hard to know exactly what other testing I should do with the flash, but let's just say that it does flash and it charges and the battery contacts are clean. It's in really good condition. So now what I'm going to do, after now we've checked autofocus and all these different drive modes and everything, is I'm just going to set the mode back on program and the drive on continuous and just blast away the remainder of these frames. Okay, and it did that. So now it's showing film 24 flashing, so we have to rewind the film. This camera does not automatically go into rewind modes. We have to push this little button and pull this lever over, and now it is rewinding. And it's a pretty noisy motor. That's the way they made them back then. And I think there we just heard it pull free, and it's going to go a little past. And so now it's showing 0 and film is flashing. So it's safe to open the door, and we find that all of our film has been wound back into this cartridge. One other thing we should have noticed, I saw it up there, but while this cartridge was in, this code made it up with these contacts here, and it did show speed 400 up there on the top display. So that's kind of an overview of this camera and its function. While we've got this open, it looks pretty good inside. This camera doesn't require a lot of light seals, which is kind of nice. There's some down in there, but I'm not feeling any printed over here. It actually looks like it's in really good shape. There, it's simulating going in again. So if we were to take off this lens, we can see got smooth focus. The blades look nice, and we saw those operating earlier. It's hard to work those manually. I can do it there. We can see they're pretty snappy and quick. I don't see any oil on them. They look good. The lens mounts properly. Has a little short built-in hood that stows back like that. So now we can put the cap back on, and now these will not come with those batteries in them, but I want to demonstrate one more thing here that we have, and that is a fairly nice camera bag that this all stows in nicely. And so let's move this out of the way and set the bag here. And I'm going to back this up a little bit just to show this. This bag has compartments inside, room for the camera to sit there with the strap, room for the flash to sit here. Got a nice zipper. It has a zippered front compartment that has nothing in it right now, but you could put extra film or things in there. And around the back is another zippered compartment, and it's just right to put the camera manual in. And so there it is. So all of this, less the batteries that are in the camera and the flash, are what is for sale in this listing. Nice shoulder pad on the strap, and so a pretty good example of a 35mm autofocus SLR from the 1980s in pretty good working condition, as we've just seen.